Larianne and Roody. Hey guys, it's Larianne and Roody here with another episode of Larianne and Roody After Dark. If you're joining us for the first time ever, well, I'll let you know something. This is a series in which we talk about this sex. So today we are actually going to be talking about the foundation, the basis. We probably should have started with that weeks ago. As a matter of fact, I wanted to do this when we first started the relationship series, but Rudy thought it was too early, and I absolutely agreed with him. It was way too early, and now that we have the audience that we seem to want, it's perfect timing to talk about the true meaning of sex and the biblical definition and so forth. So before we get into this, I want to let you know that these ideas are not my own. I want to make sure that I give 100% credit to the video called What is Sex by John Mark Comer. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's a video that I stumbled upon a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It's on Jefferson Bethke's YouTube page, and it's a video that changed my whole outlook on sex, and when I showed it to Rudy, I think he had the same sentiments.
Yeah, I had the same sentiments on it.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling because, you know, you enter marriage, well, I'm gonna speak for us personally. We entered marriage as virgins, and our counselor let us know multiple times that sex is absolutely important. And you know, in my young mind, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure, and it's pretty fun too. Like, I didn't really think about the seriousness of it. So when I found this video and I heard what this guy was saying, like, everything was just like, it's like I was just living a lie. So before you go any further, if you have not already seen that video, please just pause this one and go watch it. And I'm serious, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page, and that, you know, the stuff that I skip over, you still know it for the future. So in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 is where we see the word Echad, and I googled it just to make sure that I had the right verse, and apparently Echad is very familiar in Genesis 2, or in the Bible period. It can either mean first or one. So in Genesis 2:24, this is what it says, and this is a New American Standard Bible version. I'll read it.
Alright, and it says, for this reason a man shall leave his father and his mother, and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
And of course, that was talking about Adam and Eve in the very beginning. So, as was referenced in the video, John let us know that sex is like a deep fusion of a man and a woman together to become one flesh. Now, this is a lot different than what you hear these days. You know, a lot of people do it for pleasure, people do it for recreation, people do it without thinking, people do it with strangers. And of course, we know that these things are wrong, but why are they wrong? And in the video also, John mentioned that it's the bonding of two persons into one being. Now, when you see sex as that, you kind of have a feeling like, how could I possibly do this with someone I don't know? How can I do this with someone that I'm barely familiar with? Because you are joining with one other person to become one flesh. That sounds pretty darn serious, right, Rudy?
Yeah, it's like the point of it, or one of the points of sex, is to join and also to build. If you have two people, two complete strangers whose mission is not to make anything out of this situation, it's like taking your sticks, you're trying to build a bridge, but you guys come together to build that bridge, and when it's time to leave, you guys take apart or take that piece that you brought back. There's nothing being built. You just end up destroying what was supposed to go up.
That's pretty good, dear. And another quote was that every time you're walking away from a sexual partner, you're tearing a cod. So just like Rudy said, you're walking away from that bridge that you're trying to build, and you're taking things away. It's the same. You are now tearing that flesh that you've joined together, and every time you join with another flesh, you're just tearing and tearing and tearing. After a while, you're just gonna be hollow. And what happens when people become hollow? Then they try to search for something or someone to try to fill the void and all that stuff, and it's just a huge mess that you've created. So the reason why this is so important in marriage is that we need to keep doing it over and over again. I remember we kind of stopped doing this, but I used to refer to sex as Echad. Like, let's Echad. And then I even told my friends Lisa and Corey about it, and that's what we referenced it as, because we wanted to stop looking at it as a physical thing and more of like a spiritual experience. And when you think of it that way, it's a lot deeper than, oh, I can't do it today because I just don't want to, or I can't do it because I'm tired. And of course, you're still human, and those things will take over, although they shouldn't, but sometimes they do. But when you think of it that way, like, I need to get on a deeper level with my husband, or you'll notice that sometimes you'll be drifting apart. An easy way to come together is to literally come together again, and it just kind of mends everything. So sex is now this thing that you're supposed to do over and over again to express your love for each other and to just enjoy each other. And that's what the purpose of sex is. That's why God created it. That's why it's so beautiful. I'll never forget, when I first learned what sex was, I was 12 years old. I was in the 7th grade. I was very naive. I didn't know anything at all. And when I first learned about what it was, I was like,
I'm never doing that, that's gross.
And for up until Rudy and I got engaged, those were my exact sentiments. And I feel like that's, a lot of young people think that. I mean, they don't come out and say it because it's kind of embarrassing, because apparently everyone is doing it, or so they think. So they kind of keep that thought to themselves. But it's a beautiful thing, and it's meant to be beautiful if you do it the right way. So, you know, just think about it in a different way. Try, or at least try to. I mean, once you watch that video, I feel like it's kind of hard to think of it the same way as, you know, just, you know, two people coming together to do it and feel good and then walk away. It's a lot deeper than that, and that's not the way that God meant for it to be. So I hope that you guys learned something. I hope this helps. I hope this helps somebody's marriage. And I didn't even put an age limit on this because I think that this is for everyone. The earlier you learn the true meaning of what sex is, apart from the biological standpoint, then the better off you'll be, I think. Because now you're not going to be faced with the temptation of having sex with that stranger, right? You're not going to be faced with the temptation of becoming one with the boyfriend that you've only been with for 3 months. Like, it just won't make sense if you truly understand the meaning of it. Oh, but Larianne, I plan on spending the rest of my life with this guy. Yeah, you might plan on it, but
can't make that mistake. Everybody knows at a different time, you know, and you can't really let what people say to you or what you've seen on TV or in movies kind of dictate how you're supposed to feel. You should invest your time in the relationship, understand who the person is. From there, you'll be able to understand how you feel about that person, then to understand where you want to take the relationship, which the goal should be marriage, and then time to explore.
yay. And the exploration part is pretty fun. We're going to be doing quite a few videos about like, I want to do them, but I'm kind of shy, and I know a lot of people will be interested in them, but I feel like we got to get to know you guys first. More. I mean, I feel like I know you pretty well. Know you. Well, I think you know me more than I know you, because you watch me hopefully every day. But there are a lot of things that we can discuss, and we always look forward to your comments with suggestions. Thank you so much to Abby for suggesting this. She also emailed me about purity, which is one of the topics I wanted to talk about, but I didn't feel fully prepared to talk about that tonight. So hopefully in the next episode of Larianne and Rudy After Dark, we will be talking about purity versus staying a virgin or something along those lines. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Leave a comment with anything you want to say to us, any questions you might have. And if you want to, feel free to email us, then you can do so. All that information is in the description of this video. We'll talk to you next time. Bye!